We are going to continue with our introduction to coordinate geometry, and right now we are going to examine the midpoint formula. So, for example, you might see a question like this: find the midpoint of each of the following pairs of points. And to begin with, we're just going to look at this part one here. We've got the point 3,1 and the point 5,5. And we want to find the midpoint of these 2 points. So we can see it in the drawing here on the left. We've got the point 3,1 and we've got the point 5,5, and we want to figure out what is the midpoint. What is the point that's halfway between these 2 points? So we have a formula for the midpoint, and the formula tells us to get the midpoint. If we have one point, you can see here the point A, we call it x1, y1. We have another point, we call that x2, y2. And to get the midpoint, it's simply just x1 plus x2 over 2, comma, y1 plus y2 over 2. So what this is really doing is just getting the average of the x values and the average of the y values, and that will get us our midpoint. So let's continue with our example. We had the point 3,1 and we had the point 5,5. And we wanted to calculate what's the midpoint, what's the point that's halfway between these 2 points. So as usual, I label my first point x1, y1, and label my second point x2, y2. And once you have those labeled, then it's a case of filling into the formula. So my midpoint will be, I've got x1 plus x2 over 2. So we can see that's going to be x1, 3, and x2 is 5. So 3 plus 5 over 2, comma, y1 plus y2 over 2. So that's 1 plus 5 over 2. So then it's just a case of working through this. Our midpoint is, so 3 plus 5, we've got 8 over 2, comma, 1 plus 5, 6 over 2. So our midpoint, you can see here, therefore, is the point 4, comma, 3. So we can see here on the left, the midpoint of 3,1 and 5,5 is the point 4,3. So let's have a look at another example here. So this time we're going to look at this part 5 here. So we're going to use the points 1, 3 and 2 minus 2. And we want to find the midpoint of these 2 points. So it's point 1, 3 and the point 2 minus 2. So the point 1, 3 and the point 2 minus 2. So like we did before, we're going to label our points x1, y1, x2, y2, and then we fill into our midpoint formula. So the midpoint is going to be x1 plus x2 over 2. So x1 plus x2, 1 plus 2 over 2, comma, y1 plus y2 over 2, 3 plus minus 2 over 2. Okay, so this will be, so 1 plus 2, you've got 3 over 2, comma, and 3 plus minus 2, so that's really 3 minus 2 over 2, so that's 1 over 2. So that's 3 over 2 and a half. If you want, you can write that as the point 1.5, 0.5. And we can see our midpoint here between the point 1, 3 and the point 2 minus 2 is the point 1.5, 0.5. So that is our introduction to the midpoint formula. You guys should practice some of these questions, check your solutions online. And for access to questions, solutions, graded quizzes and more, visit www.limymaths.com.